Hi, today I'm going to speak about construction fails and in particular my own experience of what it's like being on a construction site and having something that fails. If you're new to my channel, please feel free to like and subscribe. Hit the bell notifications below this video so you don't miss out on anything. So from my own experience, I've been on a construction site. I'm fortunate to be working with a developer or a contractor, as you can say, on a couple of developments and a couple of construction sites. In all the time that I've worked with this contractor and developer, I've known him for about 6 years on and off. I've been working for him, and this time he's kind of put me on his sites to kind of learn the ropes. I'm lucky and fortunate enough to get that kind of experience at first hand, especially as a woman. Not many people you see on a construction site, so I do get a lot of people approaching me and asking me, you know, what are you doing here? What is your job role? So that's a new first. But in terms of construction fails, in particular, I'm just going to speak about fallen scaffolding. We went through experience in one of the construction sites where we had a fallen scaffold. There was a lot of issues with it. I can show you some before and after pictures. As you've seen the pictures, some of the scaffolding beforehand, it looked fine, it looked like it was upright. You can see it was quite high in the scaffolding itself. It was high due to the fact that we had to build another floor, but I think it was a bit too high. The scaffolders were found out that they didn't have scaffolder designs, which was something that probably we should have considered. So we're learning from experience. I mean, and I learned from experience being on that site, and I think the other thing is that with the height of the scaffold, it fell one day because it was really windy, and I don't think it was secured on the building like you should have it secured on the building, but I think because of the height of it, and they had some monoflex on the side of it. I don't know if you can see on the pictures on one side of it. And that probably caused it to be lifted by the wind and kind of took sail, so to speak. So that's one of the problems that we faced. The repercussions of that, we had to get the health and safety involved. The HSC, Health and Safety Executive, we had to report the incident. No one was injured, thankfully, because it happened on a weekend and no one was around. And it didn't hit into any people as such. It did kind of damage a car of one of the workers that were working for us, and I'll show you a short video afterwards to see the actual site, and you can see me kind of scrolling around and what it actually looked like when I actually got to site. It wasn't the best thing, and it was kind of disheartening all that time that you spend putting up scaffold and it falls, but I think you learn from your mistakes, so hopefully it won't happen again. From the experience I had with the scaffolding fallen, there was a lot of documentation that the Health and Safety Executive needed from us as well. We didn't manage to get all of the documentation, which is partly because the scaffolders stopped replying to us. So their scaffolding is basically liable for any damages caused, and the way they had done it, basically the Health and Safety wanted to know all their documentation. Everything that they basically needed was the documentation. They wanted the health and safety policy of the scaffold company. They wanted a methodology of how they will ensure that nothing like this happens again. Their risk assessments and how they would go about kind of rectifying things and inspection checklists and things like that. So when we actually approached the scaffolding company, they haven't been replying, and we've passed the health and safety executive deadline. So there's a lot of paperwork involved with the scaffolding incident. The police were also reported, and they were also informed, and they came to site as well, just mainly to check that no one was injured at the beginning of the scaffold falling, and they gave it the clear all. But we obviously were concerned that health and safety could turn up at any time, because the health and safety executive have the power to shut down any sites or any transactions. They can shut down companies. It's basically how you would have an auditor in a business doing the auditing for the accounts, and they can shut down the company. They can say that it's run really badly, and they can basically just shut you down. So that is one concern that we're having at the moment. It's a work in progress, everything, but you can see from pictures and stuff that I'll put on afterwards, basically what we've done and the progress of the scaffolding being removed and things like that. But yeah, that's one of the sites I'm working on. I just wanted to speak from experience. It might help a few people here and see, if anyone else has had a scaffold falling, what progress they had and what actions did they take, and things like that. So what we have actually done in the process of that happening, we've actually implemented like a contractor vetting form. So we put a contractor vetting form out to say that we need this kind of information up front, so that we have it on a record. It's not going to be shared with anyone. It's only for legal purposes, for a record keeping sake. And we've done the contracting form. We've had methodology statements. Now we're kind of implementing scaffold designs, and that's something that we're going to be working on. And I think this is all like a work in progress. It's come from experience of things going wrong, and I didn't have anyone to tell me any of this beforehand, and I don't think this has ever happened to the contractor I work with either before. So it's a learning curve for both of us, and I guess we have to learn from it. But it's one thing to have something that goes wrong, and there's another thing to put processes in place to stop it happening again. So as long as you put things in place to stop it happening again, you're more or less kind of covering things. But there's also things that you're going to learn in the way. So you can't completely fail safe anything really in life or in construction, but I'm just speaking from my experience. This is what has been happening. If you like this content and want more like this, please subscribe, hit the bell notification below so you keep up to date on everything. If you have any questions, please put a comment below and I'll personally answer them.